Hello and welcome to the show. On today's Nurburgring challenge, I've got the Mclaren P1. Now normally how this challenge works is I take the car on Forza 5 and attempt to beat its real life lap time. In the case of the P1 though, there is no real life lap time. They haven't released the time that the car did. I believe it did go around the Nürburgring. They said it did in under 7 minutes, but they didn't release the official time. So instead, my target is to beat the Porsche. The Porsche 918 did a lap time of 6 minutes 57, which is very, very quick for a road car around the Nürburgring. So I'm going to try and beat that. This is by far the fastest car that I have attempted to drive around the Nürburgring for this series. It's a pretty tall order for both the Mclaren and for me to be able to get it around this track quite that quickly. Yeah, getting under 7 minutes around here is pretty damn fast for a road vehicle. Now, I'm going to start off by saying I am not a huge fan of the P1 in particular. There's nothing so much wrong with it, I just don't find it a particularly exciting car. Much like the Nissan GTR, the P1 is another car that everybody seems to love, and then there's me that's just, it's a very fast car. But I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan. When it comes to hypercars, I much prefer the TVR Speed 12, the Lamborghini Veneno, the Hennessy Venom even. The P1 just doesn't do it for me particularly, but I will concede it is a phenomenally, stupidly fast car. So yeah, it's going to be a blooming quick lap time around the Nürburgring. Opening section didn't have too many problems, but then comes the scary stuff. This car does not like high-speed corners, as we get a huge amount of airtime. I didn't realise when I was driving it just how much airtime I got over that jump. That twitchiness you see going on, that is my real problem with the Mclaren. Now, the McLaren P1 has one of these movable wings that moves around depending on what speed and what braking and whatever it is that you're doing. Incidentally, it's 160 miles an hour the McLaren holds around that corner, which is bloody fast. Again, a very, very scary moment. Now, the wing, of course, once you go over a certain speed, I think it's around 160, 170 miles an hour, the wing changes to create less drag, so you can go to a higher top speed, which is all very well and good if you're driving in a straight line. The problem is, Nürburgring has some very fast corners that are around 160 miles an hour plus. And then the rear wing, I'm presuming this is what causes the car to have random oversteer at high speeds. Maybe it's not, but it makes sense to me, it makes logical sense to me why around corners such as the one we're coming up to here, the car is absolutely fine, the back end of the vehicle stays on the road. But when we go to a much faster corner, the back end is all over the place, it's incredibly twitchy, very hard to drive. I'm presuming it's just because the wing is trying to dump off all the aero at the back to make the car faster in a straight line, when I'm trying to go round a flat out corner. It's not nice to drive, I'll be honest. There's 3 or 4 corners here that this car is genuinely horrible to try and get around. This slow speed stuff that I'm doing at the moment, absolutely fine. I've got a 900 horsepower hypercar here, and out of these slow corners, out of this hairpin, put the power down, no real problems. You'll get a little bit of wheel spin if you're really stupid on the throttle, but it does incredibly well for such a powerful vehicle. I wasn't having to fight the car constantly to put the power down. It was really rather good. The high-speed corners, it's almost a whole different car. It has only the high-speed corners. It has the similar problem to the Atom and the KTM that they have on this game, in that you've got great turning, you've got loads of front-end grip, but the back end just jumps around. It's not as bad. That's one of the corners. It's very scary, as you can see. Again, it's sideways. It's twitching at 160 miles an hour. You know, if I'm getting a car sideways at 80, at 90 miles an hour, like there, for example, I can control it. That's fine. You're getting a car sideways at 170 miles an hour in between 2 walls, you're going to have a really big crash. And these are the couple of corners that were a real problem for McLaren. It can do it flat out. If you are a millimetre wrong on the line, you will smack a wall, because the car will suddenly go out of control. I don't like driving it. I really don't like driving it through that bit. To me, it almost feels like pot luck. It's 50-50 chance. One time you'll get through it fine, the next time you'll have a horrendous accident. I just want the rear wing to stay in the same place, give me consistent downforce the entire time. It makes the car a hell of a lot easier to drive, and probably faster, to be honest, if I'm not constantly fighting this thing through high-speed sections. But then we come to something like the carousel here. McLaren's absolutely fine. And for the rest of this lap, on the most part, I don't have a problem with the car. Again, we've got very, very, very good grip through here. We've got good brakes, and of course, we have got a quite ridiculous speed. The P1 is really very, very fast around the track, don't get me wrong. It's just some handling characteristics of it, it annoys me because the car is so nearly very good. But it's just let down by the fact that high-speed corners are so shockingly poor, really. Again, carry huge speeds through these corners. There was quite a lot of tyre smoke coming from the car. That's not from oversteer, particularly. That's just how much I'm working the car, working the tyres, trying to carry the corner speed. The bumps also weren't too bad on the P1. After I had problems with the curbs in the Ferrari, this wasn't too bad. On the most part, I could do a fairly good job avoiding them because there is just so much blooming grip in this car. But even if you did run over the curbs a little bit here and there, McLaren wasn't too bad. So I'm not quite sure how that works with the with the suspension on Forza. I didn't have too many horrendous... Like, I touched the curb there on the outside of the corner, and it didn't fling my car at a wall like it does to some vehicles. It gets a bit scary down here now. Again, it's incredibly quick. There are occasions I just got carried away, forgetting almost what I was driving with just the way this car picks up speed. You're going very quickly over that crest there. It's also rather nerve-wracking at turning it in down there, and then we're flat out through this next section as the car jumps from side to side. Again, great grip through here when it's not quite got up to that speed. And yeah, no problems there. It's just the minute... I'm presuming here, I'm making the assumption that Forza does that. Either way, whatever it causes it, the minute we start going into high-speed corners, it is very tricky to drive. Coming around on towards the long straight, yeah, McLaren is very fast in a straight line. And again, a few times I found myself getting a little bit carried away around this corner, trying to take a little bit too much speed around the second part as we head out onto the long straight. And it doesn't take the McLaren very long to get down the straight. Despite the fact that it goes uphill, this car will do, I think it's about 220 miles an hour by the time we get towards the rather scary left-hand corner, and you will turn in and you will take that corner that's coming up here flat out. 220, and you're picking up speed as you suddenly drop downhill. Yeah, that's also quite intimidating the first time. Even more impressive is the chicane. The first part you take at about, it's probably going about 230 coming into the first part. Slam on the brakes to get 160 for the next part, and then make sure you don't try and carry 160 through this next very slow section, as it's easily done to sort of like your sense of speed is slightly ruined for this final bit. But I got it all under control as we crossed the line for the McLaren P1. Held it together on that lap, but it wasn't. It certainly wasn't easy getting a clean run out of this car. Now, on to the lap times. The target to beat was a 6:57. I managed to do a 6:47.5 with the McLaren, which is pretty damn quick. That's quicker than the Radicals did. I think the fastest Radical is a 6:48 in real life. So that's a blooming fast time for the McLaren. But it's sort of one of those times in which, yeah, I got quite, in some respects, lucky through some of the fast corners. It would have been very, very easy for that lap to have ended in a huge smash in the barrier because the back of the car let go at sort of almost 200 miles an hour through some of the fast corners. It's a shame that the car does that. It really is, because I struggle in some ways to recommend the P1 because I just don't like a car that does that. It's so, like, even with a V8 supercar that's a slidey car, at least there's some consistency. In this, there's just not consistency between the slow and high speed stuff. So I don't really like driving it. Very, very fast car, this. Incredibly fast vehicle. But I'm not a huge fan of it. On Forza 5 is what, pretty much all I've got to say about it. It's a shame, because low speed stuff, if you're on a track with no high speed corners, it's great, it's absolutely fine. But when you come to a place like this, with some of the corners here, it's almost too risky. It's too likely to have a problem to really race this car. Anyway, I managed to beat the lap time that was the target and set a pretty damn quick time with the P1. So I'm pretty happy with that. It went quicker than I thought it would. I didn't think I'd get it quite that quick around the Nürburgring. Anyway, that is it for this video, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.